Hey, how's it going, guys? Stephen Marcus here, and today we're going to be talking about the Scopes trial. The Scopes trial, also known as the monkey trial, is going to be something that is very controversial, but it is also going to be something that is going to capture the attention of the nation, as well as something that's going to be echoed today in regards to topics such as science and education. So, the monkey trial, also known as the Scopes trial, mainly known as the Scopes trial, but that's going to be the teacher right here. His name is John T. Scopes, and he teaches within Dayton, Tennessee in the 20s. And he is going to be teaching his students about evolution, which is not only frowned upon, especially within the Bible Belt, but it's going to be illegal. And we're going to be talking about that within this presentation. So here's the outside picture of the courthouse in Dayton, Tennessee, as well as inside the courtroom as they battle it out, who's right, who's wrong. So some background information, the Butler Act and the ACLU. So in the early 1925s, Tennessee passed the Butler Act, making it illegal to teach evolution in public schools. The American Civil Liberties Union saw this as a clear violation of academic freedom and the First Amendment. They put out a call for someone willing to challenge the law, and that someone ended up being that young high school teacher I just showed you, John T. Scopes. So Butler Act, March 1925, prohibited teaching evolution in Tennessee public schools. The ACLU steps in, offered legal support to challenge the law. So if you and I were alive during this time period, we would see comics like this within newspapers and different things that, really challenge that topic of evolution. All right, slide 3. All right, local reactions before the trial. So a July 4th article from the Evening Star captured the local mood in Dayton. All right, and this is going to be that newspaper right here, Evening Star. The town was confused, even a little excited, as it prepared to become the center of national attention. They knew this was bigger than a local trial. It was a symbolic showdown between science and religion. You got to remember, this town is small, Dayton, Tennessee, so they're all excited because, they're making national headlines. Right, two famous lawyers right here, Bryan versus Darrow. So these two giants in their own right, Bryan right here, he's a devout Christian and three-time presidential candidate, took the stand to defend traditional biblical values. And then on the left right here, you have Darrow, the country's most famous defense attorney and a fierce critic of religious dogmatism, stepped in to defend Scopes. Their confrontation made this trial a cultural war as much as a legal one. So William Jennings Bryan, fundamentalist, former presidential candidate 3 times, and then Clarence Darrow right here, ACLU lawyer, outspoken agnostic. All right, media circus. So according to the Daily Journal-Herald, the atmosphere in Dayton was electric. Reporters flooded the town, radio broadcasts aired the proceedings live, and local businesses cashed in on the publicity. The trial became the first American courtroom case to truly go viral, which is, interesting because you're going to start seeing a lot of different things, such as something that you see down here on the left, all right? As I already mentioned before, within newspapers and whatnot. And then it said, the nerves of Dayton citizens are all a-quaver. All right, cross-examination. One of the most memorable moments came when Darrow called Bryan to the stand. He questioned him on his literal interpretations of Genesis. So he basically challenged this man's understanding of the Bible. This exchange was dramatic, tense, and ultimately undermined Bryan's credibility in the eyes of many listeners, especially those who thought faith and reason could coexist. All right, so they're blown away how Darrow really showed up Bryan. All right, so the verdict. The jury found Scopes guilty, but that wasn't really the point. The law was upheld, but the trial exposed how divided the country had become over education, religion, and modernity. The verdict was less important than the message: America was at crossroads. All right, so you can see newspaper of the time. You got Scopes in here. then a better image of Scopes right here. He was fined $100, and he later overturned, but it was later overturned on a technicality. And just this is off topic, but I just love the style back then. Excellent. All right, so some scholarly reflections. Historians like George Marsden and Edward Larson argue that Scopes trial wasn't just about biology; it was about a worldview. The divide between modernist and fundamentalist thought ran deep in American Protestantism, and this trial thought that conflict to the surface in a way the whole country could see. Sorry, not thought. Brought that conflict to the surface in a way that the whole country could see. So you have their books right here. Some Are for the Gods by Edward Larson, and then Fundamentalism and American Culture by George Marsden. And then why does it still matter today? So the fight over what we teach in schools hasn't gone away. Whether it's evolution, sexual education, or banning books, the deeper battle is still the same. Who gets to define the truth? Scopes trial reminds us that education is always about more than just facts. It's about shaping the next generation's beliefs. So, politics aside, it just shows like what is right, not what is right, what is wrong, but what is allowed and what isn't allowed. And that's going to bring up a lot of controversy in regards to public's opinion or teachers in the classroom, etc. So evolution, prayer in schools, book bans. All right, and then here's my works cited. So thank you guys all for watching my presentation on the Scopes trial. And in my abstract, I'm going to include these as well, but we have I should have some direct links to newspaper articles from that time period, and I also included the 2 books right there as well. I look forward to your responses, and I also look forward to viewing your presentations as well, and I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a good weekend. Thanks.